For 2 centuries, we've done the hard work of freedom. We lead the world in facing down a threat to decency and humanity. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. The triumph of democratic ideas and the continuing struggle for freedom elsewhere all confirm the wisdom of our nation's founders.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. This is the 21st of June, 2017. As you heard there in that opening, I kind of put something together for you because I want to show you exactly what's going on behind the scenes. And it started on September 11th, 1991, when George H.W. Bush stood up in Congress and literally said we need a new world order. Oh, and he's not the only one. Bill Clinton said it previously. The Pope has said it. You know, other people have come out and said it as well. So let me be very precise and very specific. We do not need a one world, new world order government. Period. I do not care what the prognosticators of our past or the prophets of biblical times have said. If they reveal to us what we are going to encounter, it stands to reason that common sense and logic would show us that we can change it. It does not have to be fulfilled. But then again, in a world of such depravity and evil, when something is taken out, when something is changed, when something is transformed, something has to die. Something has to go away. Something has to be replaced. Well, all I can say is that we the people can change our future by relying on hard work, innovation, the resources that we have, the intelligence of people that are there, the manufacturing abilities of people. We can build a better future for the world. But we have to understand the enemy. We have to get inside their minds. We have to get inside their hearts. We have to find out what kind of soul they truly have. And as far as I'm concerned, the ability of one person to transform the rest of us into the individuals that we are, to come together as humanity, to change the world within that group of humanity, in the countries that they exist. One person cannot do it all. One person cannot carry the banner. One person cannot carry the sword into the fight. It has to take all of us. And as far as I'm concerned, we the people can do it. Because the words of one of the greatest philosophers of the 20th century, going into the 21st century, one of the greatest voices in philosophy in the 20th century said, something can be done about it. And it's true. But it takes acceptance, it takes agreement of what is there. Not this false paradigm perpetrated upon people through the mainstream propaganda media. We see through that fraud, and we don't need to have that veil put over us. Something can be done about it. We often overlook the most simplest way of getting things done because we complicate it. We complicate the most simplest situations with the most in-depth analysis that we could ever imagine. And we put that on ourselves, and we fail to see the simplicity of the solutions that are there. And, well, we screw things up. Overanalyzing is not always a good thing. Direct and simple observations of solutions is always the best. You can't get away from that. Keep it simple, keep it direct, and keep your focus. That's all I got to say to that. That's all I got to say. So what's going on in our world today on the 21st of June, 2017? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you exactly what's going on. And you draw your own conclusions on the various things that are happening in our world today. I just want to take a breath. I just want to take a breath. Paul Joseph Watson reports for Infowars.com, 21st of June, 2017. There we go. Referendum, it's in quotes, on Donald Trump ends in humiliating defeat for leftists. Dems go into meltdown mode as Handel defeats Ossoff. An election that the New York Times said, quote, was largely seen as a referendum on the first months of Donald J. Trump's presidency, unquote, ended in humiliating defeat for leftists as Republican Karen Handel beat John Ossoff despite being outspent by a margin of 7-1. One has to praise the New York Times for at least being honest in admitting the Georgia congressional race was a referendum on Trump. As soon as it became clear Ossoff was going to lose, other leftists went into denial mode. You can bet if the Democrat had won, they'd be celebrating it as a damning repudiation of Trumpism. Ossoff spent a staggering $22 million on the campaign compared to Handel dropping just 3 million. A replay of how Trump defeated Hillary despite being vastly outgunned financially. A crowd burst into a Trump chant as Handel thanked the president and Vice President Mike Pence. Polls that showed Ossoff 5 points ahead just last week were again proven wrong, with the final outcome representing a 10-point polling error swing in favor of Handel. Instead of analyzing why they lost, leftists reacted with a usual deluge of temper tantrums, while actor Willie Garson calling Handel a, quote, unqualified cracker, unquote, a racial slur he subsequently deleted but refused to apologize for. Quote, of course, it's only a matter of time until someone at CNN or MSNBC alleges that Russia stole the election or thunderstorms suppressed the minority vote, because it simply can't be that Americans just aren't buying into their failed big government policies anymore, unquote, remarked Zero Hedge. This is going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. I myself personally am done with the left. I talk about them, I criticize them, I bash them, I throw them under the bus. I don't really care, because the Republicans are no better. Oh, they'll talk a good game and they'll say, yeah, we need to do this, and yeah, that is done, and this person did this, and it's all rhetoric, folks. It's all talk. There's no substance in it. On both sides of the aisle, there's no substance in it at all. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Nada. Okay? How can a group of people come together who want a better future for the country be so divided? It doesn't make any sense to me, folks. It doesn't make any sense to me. How can a country of people diverse in their nature and in the way they live be so divided? I'll tell you why. It's simply this. One group of people in that society, being the United States of America specifically, one group of people want everything for free and want to give away the store because, well, everybody needs a chance to get ahead. And the other part of that collective group of people, on the other side of the political aisle, want to conserve and only give away a little bit at a time to suck you in to their, I'm just going to say it, to their spider web. Then once you are stuck, they attack you. And if you try to get out, or if you say something that is beyond or outside of their paradigm, they'll criticize you and call you a nut job and all that. So both parties are in collusion with one another to create such destabilization in the United States of America that you cannot trust any of them. At least I don't. And I don't vote, because the last time I voted was 2012. That was the last time. That was it. And when I looked at the information that came out after the polls were closed, I saw some corrupt stuff going on. I saw some things that just, if I would have known before that, exactly in that 2012 race, if I would have known things before, specifically to that race, I wouldn't even went and voted. I wouldn't have. So, I don't vote. And you can criticize me all you want. Well, if you don't vote, it's not. And you don't have a right to say anything if you don't vote. I have every single right to say something if I don't vote because I don't have a horse in this race. So I can criticize you for voting for the wrong person. You don't like it? Shut up. Because I don't care. Oh, you don't care about America? No, I will give my life for America, for you, for my friends, for my family, but I will not defend this country for the sake of Washington, D.C. and the political power nut jobs that are sitting up there in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to do it. In fact, I've said it before. Take that 10 square mile piece of land, cut it off, throw it in the Atlantic. We don't need it. We don't need it. Our founding fathers in the 1700s said the same thing. We don't need a centralized government because each state is on their own and can do what they can do and work together for a better America. They didn't say that, but when you look at it, that's exactly what they wanted to do. They told us not to have a standing army. Well, we have one. It's called the United States Armed Forces. They told us not to have a central banking system, and we have that. And this country has been screwed ever since. Ever since the Act of 1871 was passed into law by President Ulysses S. Grant. Now you tell me how credible these politicians are when they come out and say they want to change things and they want to drain the swamp and they want to do this. President Donald J. Trump is not a politician. He's a businessman. Remember years ago when Ross Perot ran for president? Well, let me tell you something. And he pulled out all his charts and he's showing up. He was absolutely 100% correct. Period. He knew what was going to happen. He knew about NAFTA and GATT. He knew all of these insider things that his friends in Washington, D.C. told him. And he ran for president anyway to do one thing, to change the system for the sake of the citizens of the United States of America and make it a better country. But he didn't win. Why? He was independent. He was independent. He had independent thoughts. He wasn't thinking like the people do in Washington, D.C. He knew. So did Donald Trump. He knew that. He knew what was happening back then. And you notice he ran a couple of times for president and didn't win. You know why? Because the system at that time did not want someone independent of the revolving door politicians that came and went out of Washington, D.C. He didn't want that. Or they didn't want that, but he wanted to go in and change that. And in 2016, he ran for president and won. And now he's saying he wants to drain the swamp. He wants to, I'm going to say this, he should drain the cesspool and the septic tank of Washington, D.C. and get that crap out of there. And he's doing everything he can to do that. But the Progressive Party, Republicans and Democrats, are stopping him from just going in and wiping out all these corrupt politicians. When I say wiping out, he goes in and says, "You're fired, get out." See? So as far as I am concerned, he's draining the swamp. As far as I'm concerned, he's doing it a cup at a time, not at a big, he's doing it the way that he believes is best. And again, remember, he's not a politician. He's a businessman. He's dealt with political issues on that end of it. He's dealt with the other side because he obviously is in business in all over the world. and he understands the political ramifications of how commerce works and who buys whom. You see what I'm saying? So, are we on the same page? Awesome. Cool. Let me move on. Go check out a friend of mine, Mr. Tom Slick, over at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. If you're a independent artist, musician, author, filmmaker, independent, away from the mainstream, people, and you want your music to get heard, you want to promote your book, you want to promote your film, you go to Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. You tell my friend Mr. Tom Slick you want him to promote you. And it's real easy. Go to 926theblitz.rocks, R-O-C-K-S, 926theblitz.rocks. Go talk to Mr. Tom Slick and ask him how you can promote your stuff on his network. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz, 926theblitz.rocks. Go listen to another colleague of mine in the Patriot movement, Mr. Brian Lang, over at Live Truth Radio and Television, livetruthradio.com. livetruthradio.com. Go check out Mr. Brian Lang. Tell him I sent you. Yeah, there you go. What a day. It is the 21st of June, 2017. I cannot and will not put up with these. I'm not going to deal with these people that don't want to see things in a way that's going to help them understand what's going on. Okay? No. I won't do it. I won't put up with them anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I cannot and will not put up with their dumb ass. I just won't. I said on my Facebook page, truth, the leftist to the leftist, it's like garlic to a vampire. Fact, the stake in the heart. And that's true. Judicial Watch, Benghazi documents point to White House on misleading talking points. Yeah. Isn't that always fun? I just, when you look at Washington, D.C. and how they, how they lie, most of them do. My question is, why is it that people don't want to see the truth? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I said this on I said this 12 hours ago on my Facebook page. Just a thought. I've been keeping this in for quite some time, but I just can't keep it in any longer. I don't have time for haters, for people that just think I'm a conspiracy theorist or a hate monger or whatever they think I am. I just don't have time for them. And I mean that. I don't have time for them. Now, somebody might think, well, you don't want to hear other people's opinion. You want to shut them down. Really? Did you read something into that I didn't write? Huh. Kind of an interesting little tidbit of information there, huh? You're saying I'm doing things and saying things that I haven't done or said? Huh. Interesting. Just saying. Go to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. Senator John McCain is a front for Soros' Saudi globalist scheme. That's from DCWhispers.com. That's on American Liberty Radio podcast. MSNBC host Mika Brzezinski, her father passed away. I'm not sad about that. Quote, she says, quote, our job is to control exactly what people think, unquote. That's what she said. She's the fiancée of Morning Joe host Joe Scarborough. And he was in Congress once, I think for one term or whatever it was. But her father is a globalist, or was, pushed for globalist ideals and all that. Everybody talks about the global environment, and I hear that a lot. I mean, people are saying, well, we have to deal with the global society and commerce. And don't they get it? These people that want globalism, that want global commerce, that want a new world order, they've been indoctrinated with a bunch of bullcrap. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You guys assess your own, observations. Draw your own conclusions on what you see. But I'm not one to sit here and just, talk about, how wonderful democracy is and all this, that, I'm not, because democracy is a fraud. What? We are a constitutional republic, folks, not a democracy. Get that through your thick freaking skulls. We are a constitutional republic, or we are supposed to be. Some jackass along the way decided, well, let's make it a democratic socialist society, okay? Let's just create democracy and promote that. You're a bunch of idiots if you think democracy is ever going to work. Look at all of those so-called democracies around the world in the last 1,200 years or longer. They didn't last, did they? Why? Duh. Because the people didn't have a say in how their government was operating. The United States of America is unique in that because we have the ability to vote every 2 to 4 years. But even that became a fraud. Even that became, useless and pointless. Because it's not about your votes anymore, folks. It's about how much money you contribute to those campaigns. And it's big business, sending millions and millions and millions of dollars into the campaign finance into the coffers of these campaigns. That's why we need campaign finance reform. We need to tell big business and all these hard money contributors, I call it hard money contributors, hey, back off. You got nothing. You have no influence whatsoever in Washington, D.C. Get out, go away, operate your business. We don't want your money. Well, how is anybody going to, how's anything going to get done? We need to fire the lobbyists and the special interest groups along with them. Well, then, then it's just going to be one thing for everybody. No, it's not. Because each state has the ability to have those referendums in their states and have those policies in their... What do you think propositions are in your states, folks? That's a way for you to help the state, sustain itself politically. But no, people don't realize that. Okay, people don't know that, all right? I don't get it, I don't. I'll be back in 2 minutes. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. That's our backup site, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And I'll be back right after this. Don't go away. This is American Liberty Radio Network. You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts. Without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
Hey folks, this is American Liberty Radio Network right here on Spreaker.com. I've been asked why I don't go to iHeartRadio. Well, it's real simple. For some damn reason, they don't like my music. And they think it's too long of an intro. They can kiss my ass. Couple of things about podcasting and about live broadcast here on Spreaker. If you have any questions concerning any music, any type of content, whatever, Rob Greenlee over at Spreaker.com, he's the head of content over at Spreaker, and he tells you all about what goes on and how to do things and gives you tips and all of that on Spreaker Live Show on Wednesdays at on Spreaker, and just check it out. Go to Rob Greenlee on Spreaker, or check out Spreaker Live Show on Spreaker, and you will find him and get his show. He's live every Wednesday, and he talks about tips and tricks and all these things. But you can bring up questions in the chat box or whatever you want to do. And he, Alex Exum is also with him on those shows. And they talk about a lot of stuff. So that's Rob Greenlee and Alex Exum from the Exum Experience on Spreaker Live Show. So if you have any questions whatsoever about Spreaker and, whatever you need to know, check out that show on Wednesdays, Spreaker Live Show on Spreaker.com. So, let's get on to some news, shall we? Let's go. I am the last one. Anyway, hey folks, any advertisers out there need a voiceover person to do some of your stuff? Hey, right here. You're right here. Hey, I'm it. Okay. Yeah, hire me. I got some bills to pay. Okay, I'm just saying, all right? I do voiceovers, I do characters, I do different things. I can do narration and you name it. I'm there. I mean, hey, whatever you need done, I got the voice to do it. Let's do this, shall we? You can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com, 21st of June, 2017. Europol, leftist carried out 27 times more terror attacks than right-wingers. Narrative fail. Just one right-wing terror attack in 2016. A new report by Europol has revealed that leftists carried out 27 times more terror attacks than right-wingers in 2016, once again debunking claims that the right represents a bigger extremist threat. 142 failed, foiled, and completed terrorist attacks occurred in Europe throughout last year, with 27 being blamed on left-wingers. Just one right-wing terror attack was recorded for the entire year. 13 attacks were blamed on Islamic jihadists, while the majority of the attacks, 99, were labeled quote-unquote separatist attacks. Attacks which led to deaths of victims are almost exclusively Islamic, with 135 of the 142 deaths and the 374 of the 379 injured due to jihadist terror. The statistics once again debunk the notion, which has received traction yet again after this week's attack of Muslim worshippers near a mosque in London, that right-wing terror represents a major threat. This is going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Oh my God, people. I mean, how many times how many times will the leftists and the democratic socialists and all that, when will they get it through their thick head that we see right through their bullcrap? They're not going to stop at all. We know this. They're mentally ill to the point of just not caring anymore. And so they're going to push their narrative onto everybody else and try to get things changed to their socialist agenda. That's just the way it is. Not because I say so, but hey, the facts. Spell it out. There it is. Facts support what the leftists want to do. But, you go out and look it up and draw your own conclusions on it. Assess it, do what you need to do. That's okay. And here's, I'm going to nail that coffin shut. Daily Beast is reporting on the 21st of June 2017, Democrats have no idea how to win in the age of Trump. Dem losing streak continues as party becoming a joke. There you go, validated. Right there, boom, put the seal of approval right there. There it is. After $50 million and a congressional contest bigger than some presidential primaries, the special election in Georgia's 6th congressional district to replace Representative Tom Price ended up where it began, with the Republican House seats still in Republican hands and national Democrats still looking for a way to turn the resistance to Donald Trump into a victory at the polls. From the moment Price announced he was leaving the seat to become President Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services, the race to replace him was a highly nationalized, money-soaked brawl, a referendum especially for Democrats on the president, in an affluent suburban Atlanta district he'd barely won in November. After Representative John Lewis, Democrat of Georgia, endorsed Ossoff, then a 29-year-old unknown Democrat who lived just outside the district, liberal activists from across the country flooded Ossoff's campaign war chest, building it up into a $23 million mega campaign in 5 months. Within weeks, he rocketed to the front of the field in the Republican-packed 17-way jungle primary in April. Yeah. It says read more right after that, so I'm going to copy and paste that into American Liberty Radio Podcast for you guys to check out. Assess it on your own, draw your own conclusions, make up your own mind, because I'm not here to throw you on the ground and throw your arm behind your head and make you believe anything you don't want to believe. I'm just telling you, go out and check this stuff out on your own. Let's go to Breitbart. I understand they got some stuff going on over there too, so let's go check that out, shall we? I'm gonna say this, okay? Right to you, freaking Democratic Socialists, you leftists out there, you morons. You're not gonna win. Period. End of sentence. The only way you're gonna win is you're gonna follow the political philosophies of Chairman Mao, the late Chairman Mao, in that when he was in China, he pretty much wiped out about 40 million people because, they were different. They thought differently than he did. And this is over a period of time, not just in one fell swoop, But you guys just, hang out with that philosophy because you're not going to win, okay? And the only way you're ever going to win is to put a gun to everybody's head and say, you're going to do this. Well, guess what? You don't have enough guns. Just saying. Politically speaking, you don't have the strength to even tie your own damn shoes, okay? Just saying. Just putting it out there. It's fact. It's all out there. It's, you guys aren't going to win, okay? And I'll give you this from Breitbart. Ian Hanchett over at Breitbart. Democrat Representative Bustos, quote, "It's not going to work for us just to have an anti-Trump message," unquote. Told you. There you go. Democrat right there. Democrat representative. On Tuesday's CNN Tonight, Representative Sherry Bustos, Democrat of Illinois, argued that Democrats wouldn't win the 2018 midterms if they just had an anti-Trump message. Bustos said that she took the fact that Georgia's special election was closer than previous elections in that district as a, quote, silver lining in saying we're moving in the right direction. We're inching the ball forward, unquote. Yeah, those are PowerPoint phrases, folks. Go look it up. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Bustos added that the Democratic Party does not have time to work on its message given that the midterms are over a year away, but, quote, it's not going to work for us just to have an anti-Trump message, unquote. She further stated, quote, Donald Trump frankly had a message that resonated with people who haven't got a raise in the last 5 years, who saw their jobs like a plant in a district, in my district, her district there, Sherry Bustos in Illinois, the Maytag plant, ship every last one of the jobs over to Mexico. We've seen so many of these stories, and when he talked about making America great again, and in very simple terms, that resonated with people who wanted hope. What we didn't talk about enough consistently was about jobs, the economy, the fighting for people who want better times ahead, unquote. Let me just reveal this secret of the Democratic Party right now in all of their talking points. It's this: neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic programming. Go look it up. In other words, they skull plug you with all these PowerPoint words and phrases and ideas and concepts to make you, think, oh yeah, they've been talking about jobs and security and economy and everything for years on both sides of the aisle. The only way that the economy is ever going to get better is if we have a free market system operated and funded and engaged by we the people. That's it. The government cannot give you a job unless you apply to the CIA or any other job over there. They cannot guarantee you that a company here in America is going to pay you more than minimum wage. They cannot stop the downfall of the economy in certain regions, which cause downsizing of businesses, which causes you to go on the unemployment line. Okay, the government, period, Washington, D.C., cannot guarantee your security in the economy currently where it stands. They cannot. There's no way. And they're not going to hand you a card or something to walk into a business of your choice and say, here's a card, the government gives me a job for this place. They can't do that. That would be communism, folks. That would be you working for the state. Again, go look it up. Neuro-linguistic programming. The way they word these things, the way they're taught how to speak. Yes, they're taught how to speak, like Rasputin was taught how to talk and speak and conducted his way, or how he himself instructed others and manipulated his way into the czars and all of this. It's how our military-industrial complex in the 30s and 40s helped Hitler become as powerful an orator as he was. Yes, neuro-linguistic programming, okay? Go look it up. I don't, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put this out here because I honestly don't know where to go with this. What we have to understand, well, you can understand anything you want. Okay, you can assess the situation yourself, draw your own conclusions on this, make it to where you can understand it in the most simplest terms, and draw your own conclusion. Okay? Here's the dumbest thing I just saw on Breitbart.com. Former Attorney General Eric Holder, Fast and Furious and all that, is considering a 2020 presidential bid. You see, the Democrats are pulling out all of the stops now. They're just pulling out all of the stops. Former attorney, this is from Ben Q. Thank you, Ben, over at Breitbart. This is 21st June 2017. Former Attorney General Eric Holder has said he is eager to become more involved in resisting President Donald Trump and is also considering a presidential run in 2020. Considering, which means the root word there is consider, which means think. He's thinking about it. That doesn't say he's going to do it, but he's thinking about it. Quote, up to now, I have been more behind the scenes, unquote, Holder told Yahoo News in an interview. Quote, but that's about to change. I have a certain status as a former attorney general, a certain familiarity as the first African-American attorney general. There is a justified perception that I am close to President Obama. So I want to use whatever skills I have, whatever notoriety I have, to be effective in opposing things that are, at the end of the day, just bad for our country, unquote. Oh, there's more to it. I'm going to put that on a American Liberty Radio podcast. Really? What's bad for the country? Peace, freedom, liberty, and security for this nation is bad? Allowing people to buy their own damn health insurance is bad? Allowing people to be innovative with the resources they have to create an atmosphere of entrepreneurship is bad? Getting rid of government waste and extreme expenditures and all of that, and curbing the military-industrial complex in America, and curbing all these other, and getting rid of the surveillance grid that is currently throughout the United States is bad? Eric Holder, you're an idiot. Yeah, pass that on to him if you know him. Eric Holder, you're an idiot. Hey, jackass, what about Fast and Furious? You see, it's just, I saw a study that says if you get angry and you just yell and scream, that decreases the volume of your brain. I'm just sitting there going, really? Really? What? Really? What? Let me go out to Hollywood, shall I? Oh my God. I may go into overdrive. There's so much stuff, man. Let me go out to Hollywood and tell you what those leftist buttheads are doing. Hollywood melts down after Ossoff's loss. Quote, group hug, get in, unquote. Hollywood celebrities took to Twitter Tuesday night to vent after Democrat John Ossoff's lost Georgia's 6th District special congressional election to Republican challenger Karen Handel. Celebrities who donated time and money to Ossoff's campaign, including actresses Alyssa Milano and Rosie O'Donnell used their social media accounts to react to the Democrats' loss shortly after the election results were confirmed late Tuesday night. Milano, who personally drove voters to the polls in April's preliminary election and was actively campaigning for the Democrat for most of Election Day, tweeted simply, "Group hug and get in." Meanwhile, electronic music producer Moby and vocal Trump critic Rosie O'Donnell, appeared to be frustrated by the results, with Moby questioning how Democratic, quote, still can't win, unquote, even with, quote unquote, buffoon Donald Trump in the White House. O'Donnell tweeted, quote, "Donald Trump is the darkness itself," unquote. As Breitbart News previously reported, Ossoff's loss marked a stunning rejection of Hollywood by Georgia voters. Several celebrities, including Milano, Samuel L. Jackson, and John Leguizamo, donated time and money to the Democrats' campaign in what became an expensive and closely watched race and a de facto referendum on President Trump's tenure in office thus far. I'm going to put this on American Liberty Radio podcast for you guys to take a look at. Bunch of tweets in there from people, too. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put this, I've said it before, and I'll say it again because it's true. It's the fact. You cannot get away from it. California's done. California's in the toilet. Somebody flushed it. It's down the crapper. It's going into the waste system because California is now not, from my perspective, is not a viable state, which is detrimental to the rest of the United States. Everybody looks at California as being, hey, if California did it, we can do it. As goes California, so does the rest of the country. But the fact of the matter is Governor Brown is not a governor. He's a dictator. Go look at the policies he's put in. He himself has aligned himself or has surrounded himself with his people in the legislature, in the state Congress, in the House and the Senate. He's circled the wagons so that the general public will not be able to battle him anywhere except for the Supreme Court. Some of the things he's done has been shot down, great, but not enough. They booted Gray Davis out because he wanted to give licenses to illegal aliens. And guess what? They booted his ass out. And then they got Schwarzenegger. I don't know. Good, bad, indifferent. I have no idea. Now they have Governor Brown. I'm old enough to remember when he was governor of California before and he screwed up the state. Okay? California's done. Hollywood is done. California's finished. Okay, I do not care one bit about people who live there. There are great places to go. I'm not saying it's all of California. I mean, as far as politically is concerned, California is it's a wasteland now. It's a complete communist state. Doesn't matter. But the people in California need to realize just what they've gotten themselves into. And because they've allowed all of this crap to take place. Because they have politicians there that don't have balls or backbones or, they're weak, they're cowards, they have no idea how bad their system truly is because they're in the midst of it. They're in a massive state of Stockholm syndrome right now. They don't care. They don't care as long as they have their sports and entertainment and all this and their news is telling them what they want to hear. Yeah, California is, yeah. So there you go. I'm so glad I left. It's just, oh my God. I lived in Nevada for almost 10 years, and I just got sick and tired of it. And so we moved up here to Montana, and guess what? Oh, my God. I just feel, I feel like a weight had been taken off my shoulders. It's just like, I don't have to deal with that anymore. But I tell you about it, and then I get riled up, and then I, feel stressed a little. But you know what? I also look at it this way. Wherever you're at, you can make your life better. How? By not allowing the bullcrap to take hold in your life. That's the bottom line. I mean, if you have family members who are opposite in the political spectrum that you're on, talk to them. They're family members. You didn't choose them. You happen to just, it's like you're part of the family. So, but talk to them and tell them the truth and show them the facts and tell them about this show and tell them about, they have to understand what they're in. Okay? They have to understand this. It's just, it's that way. It's just, anyway, folks. Hey, I've made an executive decision here. I'm not going to go into overdrive because I have to have time to do other things I got to do around this studio. And if you are willing and able and capable and would like to, I'd like to get your support. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. You can advertise on the network if you so choose to do so. That's entirely up to you. I would like it. It's a win-win situation for both of us. That's awesome. But if you want to contribute and drop $1 into Kitty to become a patron and help us keep the lights on around here, that'd be fantastic. So you guys rock. Okay, that's AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. And, of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Yeah, I do these podcasts anywhere between 5 to 6 days a week, and you guys are you guys are in store for something tomorrow, man. Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to have the one and only Mr. Nick Tucker on Truth Experience. The Truth Experience will have guest Mr. Nick Tucker on, and we're going to talk. We don't have scripts. We're off the cuff. We shoot from the hip. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff in the political arena. From the past and the Clinton administration to Bush to Obama, now to Trump, whatever. We're going to talk. We're going to get down and dirty. And he's going to have a second part to a podcast that I was on, and it's about the Illuminati in Hollywood. I spoke about them earlier, TV and the media. So we're going to have a second part to that, but we're going to name names. We're going to, just nail everybody to the wall. We don't care. We need to expose these people for who they are. There's pedophilia going on in Hollywood. There's drug addiction. There's all this, all that. And it really has to be brought to the forefront of the conversation. And we have to discuss this stuff. Now, there are people who are struggling with problems. That's fine. We need to, direct them to the right organizations that can help them. And we need to open up about those people who are creating corruption in Hollywood, who fund most of the politicians in Washington, D.C. You didn't know that, did you? Hollywood is a big contributor to Washington, D.C., one of the big contributors, outside of George Soros and other organizations. But there you go. But I'm going to have Nick Tucker on the show Friday night. Or Friday? I'll confirm that. I'll put a message up on Spreaker, up on the website, to let you know specifically when I'm going to have him on and at what time. I got to get an email confirmation. So anyway, yes, I'm going to have him on. So folks, all I can say is open your damn eyes and see what the hell's going on. Assess the situation the best way you know how. Draw your own conclusions. And for goodness sakes, go out and check this stuff out on your own. I'm out of here, folks. This is American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.